Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are analyzing the strategic roadmap from, well, one of the world's largest digital creation ecosystems, Roblox. We're doing a deep dive into their 2025 AI strategy as laid out in their recent major updates for creators. Now, for a lot of people, Roblox is just a place their kids play games. But the sources we looked at make it absolutely clear the company sees itself as something much, much larger. This is, first and foremost, a massive creator studio, a development environment where teams are, constantly shipping new experiences and scaling up. And when you're operating at that kind of speed and scale, you run into two really expensive problems. First, there's the cost of just repetitive, tedious build work, the stuff that just drains your time. And second, there's this huge amount of friction whenever assets have to move between different tools and, the core Roblox studio. So our mission today is really to figure out for you, how is Roblox using AI to shrink both of those costs at the same time? And maybe more importantly, how are they doing it without making AI feel like some extra homework for the builders?
That is the core tension, isn't it? And what's so fascinating here is that this isn't just a platform, dipping its toe into generative tech because it's the trendy thing to do. By embedding AI specifically to target these productivity bottlenecks, the strategy really provides a template for any industry, frankly. Any industry that's looking to integrate AI for real measurable gains. It's less of an AI feature launch and more of a total business strategy overhaul. Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's start with the philosophy, because where they put the AI seems critical. The core decision is just crystal clear in the source material. AI stays inside Roblox Studio.
Yeah.
They're actively trying to avoid pushing creators into some standalone AI app they have to chase.
And that placement decision is one of the most powerful insights in this whole strategy. I mean, think about the average small team, maybe one coder, one artist. Building, testing, iterating, it all happens inside Studio already.
Right.
So if you place the AI capabilities like the assistant getting new functions or features like avatar auto setup right in that immediate workflow, adoption becomes completely natural. You get rid of that whole barrier of context switching.
Yeah, you're not jumping between windows.
Exactly. So the benefit doesn't show up in some quarterly AI report. It shows up immediately as faster shipping. For those small, lean dev teams, that's everything. Minimizing the friction of trying a new feature is the difference between launching a project in 3 weeks and, abandoning it after 2 months of just being frustrated.
So the goal is to make AI feel like a keyboard shortcut you just didn't know you needed.
That's a perfect way to put it.
I see. It's all about accelerating that time to market by keeping the intelligence right where the creative decisions are happening. Okay, so now let's look at the output itself. The source material highlights this really significant shift in what the AI actually produces. We're moving beyond, generating a texture or a simple 3D model. We're talking about creating fully functional objects from a simple text prompt. And this is where, for me, it gets really interesting.
Absolutely. This is the difference between giving a writer a fancy new font and giving them a fully structured first draft of an article. The platform is aiming to generate assets that just work, right out of the box.
And they have specific targets for this.
They do. They're targeting initial categories like selected vehicle and weapon systems. Right. So imagine you prompt the AI for a post-apocalyptic dune buggy. The system doesn't just give you a static model you have to rig and code.
Right.
It gives you an interactive asset that already has its basic mechanics coded. It's functional. You can step on the gas or pull the trigger right there inside Studio.
And that inherently solves the core problem, that implementation is the most expensive part of any idea.
Precisely. Ideas are easy. Ideas are cheap.
Yeah.
But the implementation of even the most basic things, like getting a vehicle suspension to feel right or designing a weapon system with damage models.
Yeah, that's what eats up all the time.
It eats up all the time and all the budget. It's the hard, repetitive labor.
But doesn't generating a functional object just move the complexity somewhere else? Like, won't creators just spend hours fixing the AI's code instead of writing their own?
That's a fair question, but the sources suggest the goal isn't perfection. It's a functional, say, 90% solution. If the AI handles the boilerplate, the rigging, the basic physics, the initial script creators get to skip that whole rebuilding from scratch phase.
So they jump straight to the good part.
They jump straight into refining gameplay, adding unique features, and focusing on the art that actually makes their experience different. It just fundamentally changes the cost structure of creation.
That makes the process so much faster for the creator. But speed isn't just about building. It's about reaching an audience, right? If you build the best experience in the world, but only one language group can access it, you've limited your own success. And the strategy doesn't stop with creation. It moves right into distribution, and AI is the key unlock there, too.
It really is.
The roadmap details new language tooling delivered through APIs integrated right into the platform.
Yeah.
We're talking about foundational stuff. Text-to-speech, speech-to-text, and then the big one, real-time voice chat translation across multiple languages.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this is how a massive global platform truly scales. The platform hosts millions of sessions globally. Creators want access to those massive international audiences. But localization, I mean, hiring translators, dealing with communication barriers in a live session, it's a huge headache.
And really expensive.
Incredibly expensive. Historically, if you wanted to localize your experience into, say, 10 languages, you had to hire a team or try to bolt together some complex external pipeline of third-party services, and that's always fragile and slow.
Right.
By baking these tools in the translation, the speech generation creators get seamless localization. Their potential market size can increase overnight. The platform is basically selling a global audience, and AI is just building the bridge to get the creators' content there.
AI is infrastructure for global reach. I like that. But now we need to talk about the glue that holds all these different tools together. The sources introduce a concept they call orchestration. I think this is where we find some of the most practical utility for the listener.
I agree.
They talk about reducing the hidden tax of switching tools. What does that actually look like for a creator? Is it just exporting files over and over?
That hidden tax is absolutely crippling, and it silently drains hours from every single development team out there. It's the time spent manually matching settings, renaming assets, compressing files, correcting color profiles. It's all just technical janitorial work to move data from, say, Figma for UI design into the game engine.
Right, the stuff nobody wants to do.
It's the enemy of velocity, and that's what orchestration is designed to kill. And the mechanism they're using to fight it is integrating something called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP, into Studio's Assistant.
MCP. Okay, so for someone listening who might be less technical, what does that protocol actually do?
Think of it like a universal translator between different software tools, a digital handshake. It standardizes the language they use to talk about assets and workflows. So the goal is to allow the assistant to coordinate multi-step tasks across third-party tools that also support this protocol.
Can you give an example?
Yeah, the sources give some great ones. Imagine you design a complex UI in Figma, a totally separate tool, or you generate a realistic skybox using some other generator. With orchestration through MCP, those assets can be imported directly into Studio with the correct formatting, scaling, settings, all coordinated instantly by the assistant.
And that's where you actually win back real hours of development time.
Precisely. AI can be great at generation, but if you still spend half your day wrestling with mismatched file formats and copy-pasting code, the productivity gain just evaporates. Orchestration makes the entire workflow seamless. It makes AI the bridge.
Okay, so AI reduces friction inside the studio, it reduces friction across languages, and it reduces friction between all these external design tools. It's a huge infrastructure story. But let's get into the economics. Because all this speed has to tie back to revenue, and the sources show Roblox is explicitly connecting AI-enabled speed to money.
They absolutely are, and they're providing the metrics to prove it. They reported that creators earned over $1 billion through the Developer Exchange program in the past year.
$1 billion. That's a massive statement.
It shows the maturity of the platform, and they're setting these really ambitious goals, like aiming for 10% of total gaming content revenue to flow through their ecosystem. That signals extreme confidence in their ability to draw and keep professional creators.
And crucially, they're sweetening the deal on the exchange rate right at the same time as these AI upgrades.
Yes, exactly. They're explicitly increasing the exchange rate so creators earn 8.5% more when they convert their Robux, the in-platform currency, into cash.
Which is not a small number.
It's a massive financial incentive. For a creator earning a six-figure income, what does an 8.5% bump mean? It's a reason to stay, to invest more deeply, and to use these new AI speed tools.
So by increasing the creator's cut and tying it directly to this focus on AI-driven speed, the message is really clear. The faster you build, the more you ship, the more you can earn. And they're improving the infrastructure to make sure that happens.
Right. And it's not just about the tools. The sources mentioned they're also highlighting monetization features like dynamic price optimization and regional pricing. So it confirms that AI is being treated as operational infrastructure that directly supports the revenue stream, not just some flashy side experiment.
It's a complete integrated system. You can build fast, localize fast for a global audience, and then monetize optimally in different markets.
All enabled by the tech stack they're providing.
So before we wrap up the playbook, there's one more area we have to touch on. It's less glamorous, but absolutely critical. Safety and scale. Generative AI gets all the press, but safety automation is essential for a platform that operates at this kind of massive scale.
Safety automation is operational AI in its purest form. It has to be. If you are handling, as the sources say, an average of 6.1 billion chat messages a day,
Wow.
manual review is just completely impossible. You cannot hire enough people. Your safety system has to be AI-driven, and it has to be constantly getting better.
That scale is staggering. 6.1 billion messages. And the sources gave us a specific example of the system they use, right?
They did. They talked about their PII classifier. It's an AI model designed specifically to detect attempts to share personally identifiable information in chat. And this has been in production since late 2024. And they provided some impressive metrics. They reported 98% recall at a 1% false positive rate on their internal tests.
So for the listener, why is that combination of numbers 98% recall and 1% false positive so important? Why is that such a big deal?
It really comes down to human impact. High recall 98% means they are catching almost every single attempt to compromise safety. But just as important, the low false positive rate 1% means that for every 100 safe messages, only one is incorrectly flagged.
Which prevents user frustration.
Exactly. Nothing makes users angrier than being flagged for something they didn't do. So this kind of steady, reliable enforcement is what lets the platform grow without safety becoming the thing that holds it back. It means creators can worry less about moderating their own chat and just focus on building, because the platform's AI is acting like the world's fastest lifeguard.
Okay, that's a critical piece of the puzzle. Let's distill all this into that transferable playbook.
Yeah.
Because this isn't just about a gaming platform. It's a clear strategy for integrating AI into any professional workflow. So what does this all mean for you, the listener?
I think we can pull out 4 key principles that any team could really adopt from this. First, put the AI inside the loop where decisions already happen. Never make it a separate step. If your workflow is design, build, test, ship, put the intelligence right in that build phase.
Right.
Second, recognize that orchestration is key. You have to reduce tool friction early. They showed that reducing that hidden tax of moving work between systems wins back more hours than just simple generation alone.
Yeah, that was a big one for me.
Third, you have to tie AI improvements directly to measurable economic outcomes. For Roblox, it's creator earnings. For you, it might be sales velocity or product launch speed. And finally, keep upgrading your safety systems as fast as the bad actors evolve. Your operational AI has to scale with your community.
Exactly. The ultimate value proposition here, the thing that makes AI actually pay for itself, is when it drastically shortens the path from an idea to a usable functional output.
Yeah.
And crucially, when that usable output is connected directly to a mechanism that delivers real economic value, like that bumped up exchange rate.
It's an incredibly compelling pitch.
It is. If the platform can make you faster, eliminate friction, and increase your earning potential all in one go, that's a winning strategy. But here's the thought I want to leave you with, building on that idea of functional objects. We saw Roblox focusing on generating a working vehicle, not just a static model. So if you look at your own professional world, what is your industry's most complex, expensive, basic implementation that currently needs hours of skilled labor? Maybe it's a financial model, maybe it's a complex legal contract, or mechanical drawing. What is that thing that AI could realistically handle on day one? Think about how that fully functional object approach could revolutionize your sector. We'll leave that challenge with you. That's all the time we have for this deep dive.